Hey everyone, Alan Butler from BuyBrakes.com. I'm here with Eric at the StopTech booth at the 2018 SEMA show. We're here to talk about some of the great products you have here on display. Can you tell me a little bit about what we have going on right here?
Absolutely. So this is our pad and rotor program that it's all direct fit parts for stock calipers. We provide these parts for most vehicles from 1937 up to current models, and we have a range of products to justify or to work well with your particular driving style, whether it's daily driving, aggressive street, towing and hauling, or taking your car to the track.
Okay, so we have these pads lined up kind of in an order to help it make sense. And so the Street Select pad, is that just for kind of a replacement for your standard pad,
Exactly.
normal type driving?
Yeah, so it's a really nice OE replacement alternative. It's actually focused on a value price, so it really helps to hit a price point that a lot of hype like if you're not looking for something too crazy, but really want some good, good performance, low noise and dust, still premium characteristics without a high price tag.
Cool. And now the street pads, I'm guessing you're going to get a little bit more performance out of these, right?
Yeah, a little bit. So this is kind of a premium OE replacement. So let's say you had a, whether it's a BMW or a Honda Accord, you're daily driving it, you like the low noise, low dust characteristics, but you like some good cold initial bite, nice pedal feel, good responsiveness, and be able to take it out on a back road, hit some triple digit speeds and not have to worry about any problems.
For that driver,
exactly.
spirited driver that likes to hit the canyon road on the weekends.
You wouldn't want to take it on a racetrack, but it holds up really well.
I think you have something for that though, don't you?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
So, this is actually our truck pad, so we would recommend this. The street pad is actually available for trucks as well as cars.
Okay.
But if you've got a lifted truck, doing any kind of towing and hauling, off-road stuff, this has some higher initial bite levels, higher fade resistance. It's good to about 1300 degrees. So if you're towing and hauling or you have a lifted truck and you want to have that confidence when you hit the brakes.
Yeah, I mean there's, when you get behind the wheel and you're towing a big fifth wheel trailer or you got stock brakes but now you're running 37-inch tires, you want that confidence when you're going down a big old grade and you're like, man, I hope this equipment works.
Well, especially if you got a trailer behind you, you're going to hit them hard and need them to work. So if you want to have that fade resistance, that good initial bite, as well as longer life in those high temperature conditions, it's a great option.
That is perfect. I'm glad that's an option. Sure. And then the Sport.
So Sport, Sport is recommended for aggressive street, light track, and autocross usage. So let's say you've got like a WRX or an S2000 and you want to do some track days, you drive it pretty aggressively on the street. This is a really nice pad where it'll let you do both activities. Also rated to about 1300 Fahrenheit, so it's got a very high fade resistance, good initial bite, and not too dusty, not too noisy. So you can actually drive it on the street and the track as like a dual purpose setup for a street car, track car type.
That's very cool. I just love the variety that you offer to customers, just so they can kind of pick and choose what's going to work for them.
Absolutely.
One car they may just need Street Select on, the other car, sports car, Subaru you were talking about, the WRX, boom, go up to the Sport, take it out on those autocross days. Love it, man. But this doesn't stop here because I know you have some real performance equipment here. These big brake kits that just blow things away. They do an awesome job, right? But before we get into that stuff, we also have some really nice looking rotors here.
Yeah, so StopTech has a complete rotor program. We call it our StopTech Sport Rotor program. So some of the options we have are slotted, drilled and slotted. The advantage of having these slots or drills is more leading edges for the pads to actually bite into. So when you apply the brake pedal, you actually get better initial bite, better responsiveness. It also helps to keep the pad surface refreshed, so if you do overheat them a little bit and they glaze, it'll remove that glazing and bring you back to that optimal surface for the best performance. As far as what goes where, anything motorsport, towing and hauling, heavy duty, we'd recommend slotted only, because anytime you have a drilled rotor, you increase the likelihood of a crack. Okay. So if it's a daily driven car, casual usage, and you've never seen cracks on your rotors before, and you like the look, it's all good. But towing and hauling, track day stuff, anything motorsport, we recommend slotted only.
Slotted only.
Yeah, for most people, they wouldn't really notice a difference. It's an appearance choice.
Right.
We just want people to be aware of the potential issue with a drilled rotor. It's rare that we ever have an issue. It's usually a track day car or a lifted truck or something that has a problem.
I know a common question out there is that once you start drilling into the rotors, is there any idea behind cooling the rotor down, or what is that all about?
You might be increasing surface area, but you're also reducing mass. So it's the job of the brake rotor is a heat sink. So you're absorbing the heat that's generating from converting the vehicle's forward energy into heat through friction. So yes, surface area or conduction is one way of reducing heat, but also weight is a way of also reducing it. So you're trading one for the other. On a street car, if you're not fading the brakes and having actual brake problems like that, it's largely irrelevant. and it's probably more down to the pads than the rotor itself.
So it's not its primary purpose at all?
Absolutely not, yeah.
Okay,
I mean, it can help, like if you're driving through wet weather a lot, it can help give evacuation points for moisture to improve friction. But whether it's slotted, drilled and slotted, for most people in its appearance choice, like I said, unless it's a motorsport.
Cool.
So the nice thing about our premium rotors, these are actually, our parent company is Centric Parts. We're the performance division of that company, and we use Centric blank rotors as the base rotor for all of our rotor programs. So one of the nice things about these sport rotors, they're based on the Centric Premium or high carbon rotor line, and we'll use the best available Centric blank to machine into our finished sport rotors. And you see this black coating on it, it's called an E-coat, and this is applied at the foundry, and it fully covers the rotor inside and out. So all the vanes are protected, as well as the surface where it hits the hub.
Yeah.
So it's very rare that you would have any kind of rust issue or have the rotor rust to the hub. It's a common issue you see with a bare iron disc against the steel hub on the vehicle.
It's a beautiful rotor. It really
is.
It's really it looks really sharp, and I know slotted rotors, slotted and drilled, they all look really cool behind those.
Yeah, absolutely.
A nice set of wheels.
Exactly.
It's really a sharp looking piece of equipment. What's over here?
So these are some alternate rotors that we have. This is our Select rotor program. So this is a fully zinc coated. It's a little lower, it's focused on price. Again, it's more of a price conscious rotor. So it's coming from a standard rotor as opposed to a premium rotor, which is still for a daily driver application. It's better than most other options you'd have. It's better than your typical auto parts store rotor.
Right.
Then we slot and drill it with our pattern, and the whole rotor gets zinc plated to provide that rust protection. It's not nearly as robust as the E-coat, but as long as it's not seeing like excessive salt or excessive chemical exposure, it holds up really well.
So let's say somebody wants to buy some pads and rotors. How are they going to go about doing that?
Well, we actually have a complete package program we call our Axle Pack program, and we provide that with a range of pad and rotor options. So we have our Select Sport Rotor or Axle Pack program, our Select Sport Axle Pack program. It would come with these rotors, the drilled and slotted, zinc plated, with our Street Select pad, which is a really nice, the daily driver OE replacement with a budget focus. From there we have our street line, which would come with the StopTech street pads and our StopTech sport rotors. So it would be the higher quality rotors of the black E-coat and our StopTech street pads. And then our truck pack would come with also with a sport rotor, but with our dedicated truck pad. And then the StopTech sport axle packs would come with our sport pads and the sport rotors. So depending on the level of pad, the pads and the rotors are combined together to provide a single part number for either a front axle, a rear axle, or a four-wheel setup with one part number. So it makes it really easy to order. All one pack? Yeah, and we've done all the work to make sure that everything works correctly for the intended usage.
Wow, what's not to love about that? That's awesome. Well, there are some more things to take a look at. I really want to know more about them, so let's go take a look. Okay, Eric, this is some beautiful equipment. It looks really, really nice, well engineered, very high quality looking product here. These big brake kits, tell me about it, man.
All right. Well, StopTech has over 700 applications of big brake kits, mostly focusing on late model high performance vehicles. So we support everything BMW M3s, Honda S2000s, Subarus, Evos, Audis, Corvettes, Viper, Porsche. We do pretty much everything with a focus on motorsport. We also have some kits for trucks, full-size trucks, Suburbans, Tahoes, Escalades, those sorts of things.
Right.
But essentially what we're doing is we're taking our 2, 4, and 6 piston calipers that we manufacture and optimizing the piston sizes to work correctly with a stock master cylinder, stock ABS system, so you can bolt it on, everything works correctly. You can drive it normally on the street with a range of pads that we offer, or take your car to the racetrack, do pro-level racing with a kit like this, and turn it back around and drive it on the street again.
Wow, so this is just really everything else in the brake system remains stock if you want it to be, and this will just bolt right on and work.
Yeah, as long as your wheel's clear. We have wheel fitment templates on our website to verify that your wheels are clear. Typically these require 17 to 18 inch wheels.
Right, they're big kits.
So as long as your wheel's clear, these are all bolt-on kits. Everything's pre-engineered to work correctly with a stock master cylinder, stock ABS system, and stock rear brakes. So everything is maintained, everything works properly, and in most cases they're completely reversible if you ever want to go back to stock.
Okay. I see a different variety of colors here. Is there any difference in the calipers as far as the colors go?
Yeah, so the color options are red, black, silver, blue, and yellow. These are our standard colors. We also have what we call our trophy anodized caliper. This is more of a motorsport focused finish. There's no pigment. What can happen with high temperatures on the racetrack is the colors of the caliper can actually darken. The pigments are a little bit volatile at high temperature. So we offer this natural anodized finish that doesn't discolor. We've got some of these calipers that have been in pro racing for multiple seasons, and they look as good as new because the finish is so robust.
So besides what we talked about already with the brake equipment, the pads, the rotors, the calipers, you offer more equipment to make the braking experience that much better, safer, more efficient. So we got some fluid here, some stainless steel brake lines. Tell me about these, Eric.
Sure. So the stainless steel brake lines are a nice upgrade, especially on an older vehicle. What happens is the rubber lines can degrade over time and they start to flex more. So what that means when you push on the brake pedal, the travel is actually a little bit longer, it's a little softer and more spongy.
Okay.
But you don't really notice it over time because it's a gradual change. But going to a stainless steel brake line, it's a much stiffer line and it prevents that expansion with pressure. So you maintain a very high firm pedal feel throughout the life of the part, which is like a brand new feel and it never degrades. And when you pair that with something like a high temperature brake fluid, let's say you're on the racetrack, if you ever boil the fluid by getting this too hot, you'll get that soft spongy pedal that'll come back once it cools down. But that's a process where it gets worse and worse the more it boils.
Yeah.
So having a high temperature brake fluid will prevent that boiling from happening, so you're ensured to have a high firm pedal all the time, whether you're towing and hauling or on the racetrack. It can make a really big difference.
Eric from StopTech, thank you very much for telling us about all this great product. You can find this product at BuyBrakes.com. If you want to find out more information, it's at the website and Facebook as well. I'm Alan Butler. Thanks for watching.